Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Black Salt Mirror. I always feel like I do a cold open here because I start to pull out my cards so that I can show you the box tops of the decks, and then the cards just start falling out. So I have to start with the message before I've got everything situated. It makes sense though, given the first card that I pulled for the reading, which is Fehu from the Runes for Modern Life. Fehu is about prosperity, and very literally material prosperity. It's not abundance, it's wealth. And sometimes it's actually associated specifically with wealth. The original rune referred to cattle, as that was often an indicator of your ability to sustain yourself. You could sell the cattle, you could eat the cattle, you could milk the cattle. It was an indicator that you had land for the cattle. So it's not just an abundance of intangible things like love or happiness or health. It can mean that too, but it specifically refers to material things. I also got Transformation from the Work Your Light deck and Trust the Nigel. And when I set this deck down, more cards are sliding off the top. So we've got Imrama and Break the Chain. And the Initiation is sitting on top here. So the one other thing that Fehu can reference is a new beginning, because materials come from somewhere, and there's a point at which you can start gaining things. There's a point at which you get the cattle, or the individual cow, or the land, or that you sell the cattle. So it is very trackable in that way. And that's what I'm seeing here with this spread, is it's talking about a change in your life that is going to bring material things. They could be things that you want. They could be things that you need as well for the new phase in your life, because it looks like there's a shift happening and you're starting a new path. It could be a new career. It could be a new hobby. It feels like more than a hobby. This feels like something that will be very life-consuming and life-changing and kind of define who you are as a person. And it will be a part of your calling as well. This isn't something that you're going to do for fun. This is something, the things that are coming to you, the physical things that are coming to you will be necessary, whether just for your enjoyment, like to have a nice bed so that you can rest well, or for the purpose of your work. And an example would be to have a hotel full of beds where you can rest other people well that may need it. So you're going to have both. You're going to have nice things for yourself, but you're also going to have nice things to share with others, who need it. I got 2 5s just now as I was saying that. I have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse and the 5 of Cups upright. This is the Curious Travels deck. Do I have the top for this? I might not have the top for this. There's Curious Travels. This was the Work Your Light oracle that I pulled from. And we haven't pulled anything else yet. There are 2 very sorrowful figures in both of these. In reverse, the boy. It's almost looked like he's been cast out because his coin has broken. And there's that reddish color around it, the same color of the mountains, which usually refer to hardship in tarot decks. But the moon is above him as well. And the moon is the unseen. It's also projections. The moon is ruled by Pisces. So it can be illusions and delusions, both good and bad. In this case, with a 5 in reverse. The reverse went, you are not going to be poor. That was the first thing that I thought when I saw this card. However, the overall message is about a period of suffering. And just before I got on to record this, I was reading a post on my social media about the transits for 2026 and how all of the outer planets are moving from earth, water to air, fire, and how they're going to form a cradle. So it's a sustainable energy on top of the Uranus return of the United States of America. If you haven't watched the astrology podcast episode on that, it's fascinating. I've listened to it 3 times now. I highly recommend it. The short answer, the Cliff's Notes version, is we have Uranus in Gemini with Mars in the United States. It's the birth chart for the country, because countries can also have them. And because of their placements in the chart and the way they aspect, and just those planets in that sign in general, it means when we come back to where we were, we come back to the energy of where it started. So there was the Civil War, and then the first return was World War I, and then the second return was World War II, and now we're returning again with a fire-air cradle. And it's the outer planet, so they stay there a while. I haven't looked at the chart yet. I need to do that. I can talk about that next time. However, the Queen of Wands is sitting here staring at me from the bottom of the deck as I go over the thrillingness that is happening. The Queen of Wands is the witch of the deck. She's the manifestor. She's the one who makes things happen. She's also the Queen of Fire. However, the queens are all water because they're the feminine energy of the court suits. They're the nurturers. So she's not an aggressive fire. She's a passionate fire. She's a driving fire. She's the kind of fire that's going to get shit done. And you can see she's very serene. And she's usually pictured with a black cat as a familiar to signify that she's a witch and her connection to nature. And this one in particular looks like she is a sun. Like her head is a sun, or the sun, since there's only our sun. And her staff is coming out of the ground. It looks like it's actually rooted, because she is a part of Earth. The queens are all parts of Earth, and they exist to strengthen Earth and to be Gaia's warriors. And that's what she's here for. And that is the energy that this opportunity is presenting. The next card is the new opportunity. It's Pentacles as a physical thing. It is an actual opportunity. And it's coming quickly. There are 2 cards here. With another Queen of Cups, who is a fish. Collecting, what is she collecting here? It looks like bio-refuse. Apples, fish guts. You need to act quickly. This is a specific second person message. You need to act quickly for the coming times and to collect your resources and to get in the position to help others. If you have made it to my video talking about this, you need to get ready because you're part of this collective. You don't move forward though. There's a Chariot in reverse sitting here on the bottom, and below that is the 9 of Swords. You don't move, you ready yourself. The Chariot is willpower and potential and the drive that you have within you. It is not something that is specifically about the actual movement of the Chariot. The Chariot's ruled by Cancer, which is the home of the moon and the mother and the nurturer, just like the queens. It is about holding space. Your purpose is to hold space. Going back to like the hotel full of beds that I talked about. You're not going out to fight a war. You are the place that people come to for safety. You are the place that people come to for knowledge and wisdom. You are the place that people come through for a sense of groundedness and humanity. Because within war, there are different roles that people can play, and we are the nurses. We are the safe havens. We are the underground railroads. And I don't think it's a hidden thing in this case. People will know the buildings, they'll know the people, they'll know where to go, they'll know where the safe spaces are, and they can make it there. It's not something that will require the same strategic codes and signals and messages as they have in other times, and other conflicts, and other wars. But there will be nights coming, and they will be young, and they will not know better. And you must feed them too. Because this is a really interesting reading. It's like we went forward, and now I'm going to go backwards and pick up all the cards and then read back. Watch how this works. Because we are jumping timelines again and again and again to a bigger timeline. The way that this works generally is timelines are like tree branches. And within a branch, the bigger branch has the smaller little twiggy branches that come off of it. You can move within that branch pretty easily and jump among the twigs. But to get from one big branch to another branch, you have to make smaller jumps and then a big collective jump together. And so what we're trying to do is move significantly down the tree. I think it's a world tree reference. This is the first time this has come to me as I record things and all of my excitement to break the chain. And Danielle Noel's art always has so many archways in it. All of her decks have many of them. This one's called The Initiation, Crossing the Threshold. It's about going to another world. It's going to look like our world. It's going to be a mirror. But the difference will tangibly be felt. You may have experienced this before. If you're part of this collective, you may have had kind of tests. The universe doesn't like to just shove you into something new. It will have smaller things happen throughout your life where you felt something, in this case, like, the world feels different to me. I feel the same, but this feels like a different place. I'm somewhere else now, but still in the same place, which doesn't make sense. But that's what they're showing you, is that's what a timeline jump feels like. And so at these times in your life when you experience that, that's what was happening, was you were being taught to dance with life. Because you had to move. It's like teaching someone the easy steps for the big movements. So when the timeline jump actually happens, you won't feel disoriented by it because you felt that kind of thing before. Half the deck slid off when I got to take a break. It's important to pause when you're doing all of this because, like dancing, the kind of things that you will be asked to do here, the journey that you're going to go on in Brahma, it's going to be exhausting, and it's not going to be quite apparent to you always why it's so exhausting, because you're not going to feel like you're doing something physically. But shadow work doesn't look like anything from the outside. It's a lot of inner processing. And similarly, timeline jumping and preparing emotionally to hold the space for others as they go through this transition, because they're not equipped in the way that you are. It's exhausting, and you're going to be tired, and you're going to be hungry, and you're going to ache in a way. I have a suspicion that a lot of you might have fibromyalgia or something similar, or chronic pain diseases. I do. That's another thing that you've spent your whole life learning to hold space for others and holding others' emotions and just wearing yourself out, doing the normal things that everyone else has done, not finishing sentences because you've jumped to the next sentence. It takes a toll on your body and your nerves and your nervous system, and then so you're just in pain all the time. But it acclimated you to the higher vibration of this movement period. You will feel comfortable again when we move back into conflict and chaos, because that's where you came from and that's what you were aligned to be. If you watched the last one I did, I think it was this last time, I talked about being born on the ceiling and how shifts like the planetary shifts that's coming feel more natural to you when they feel like chaos and difficulty for everyone else. It's because you were already in the upside down that we're going to be flipped to. You were already on the other side of the hourglass. So when this all comes, it's going to be a relief to you, where it's jarring to everyone else and hard for everyone else. Let's see. I've got last parting words. The Spirit Animal Oracle. This is the pocket size. The nightingale came up in the beginning. It's been sitting on the top. Love is all around. You're probably somebody that spent most of your life feeling alone and like you didn't fit in anywhere. The kind of person who can be surrounded by people in a room and feel more lonely than when you're actually by yourself, because it's hard to be around people that don't see you or understand you. However, now that the shift has come, your song can be heard and you can find your people. The veil has been lifted that kept the collective that is leading the charge and holding the space for this new shift. And now we can finally all find each other. Truth transcends illusion. This is 2-2. 22 in astrology is the kill or be killed number. It's, I forget what the word for it is. It's an absolute number. Like if you have this in your chart anywhere, particularly the more significant placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, then you've got the personal planets, Venus, Mercury, Mars, then the social planets, Saturn and Jupiter, then the outer planets, which are the generational planets, Pluto, Uranus, Neptune. And that is the order, those groupings, or the order of importance that these planets and placements are to you in your chart. So the earlier in my list that degree is found, the more important it is. If it's found in one of like the generational planets in your chart, then you're part of a collective that is going to experience this kind of energy together. Truth transcends illusion. That's very Uranian energy, because Uranus likes to knock everything down that is not part of truth. Uranus is the rebel, but the rebel doesn't do it for just to be disruptive, just to be a shit. The rebel is trying to fix a problem. The rebel is saying, no, there's a right way to do this and you're not doing it. And I'm going to do it that way. And I'm going to be a rebel because I'm doing it the way it should be done. And the way that Robin Hood steals from the rich and gives to the poor. And people called him a thief and they called him a criminal. And that's what the government should be doing. That's what society should be doing. Life is not fair, society should be fair, because society is a construct of us, of people. The coyote on the bottom. Trust in divine detours. Coyote spirit is the mischief maker. That's the rebel. The deity, coyote, from Native American lore, is a trickster god, as coyotes are associated with trickster. And I think that's what they intended for in this artwork because of the feathers on the hair. The feathers in the hair. The feathers in his fur. I think there's a little bell there too. 16. Comes after the devil. I believe it's the tower, and then 17 is the star. Are these numbered? I don't think the majors in here are numbered. No. after the devil comes chaos. However, it's a puckish kind of energy. It's a playful kind of energy. The trickster wants what's best for people. The trickster wants people to be happy because they want people to laugh at their tricks. They don't want people to be angry at their tricks. It's very strange that I can't remember. Anyway. When you do numerology, you can reduce them as well. So as 16, you'd add the 6 and the 1 and you get 7. And 7 is the trickster number. I'm sure they knew that when they put this deck together. There is more to come. I can feel a block in my throat. And it's telling me that there's more to say about this, but it's not the time yet. And as the coyote energy comes out, everything becomes chaotic. And I'm having trouble thinking straight and explaining to you what I was saying just now. And that is what's coming. This is why you need to be ready ahead of time. You need to get everything in order, because when the chaos comes, you won't be able to focus on getting ready anymore. And then you have to trust that who you are will attract your people to you, and that you have the support of the others in the collective to continue holding the space and continue being you in a way. There's probably something about you that's different and unique, and it could frighten you, that it could cause violence to you because of what's different and unique about you, as it has it many times in the past in many different places. But those things in this transition are what's going to bring your people to you, what's going to mark you as safe, and what's going to help shift the collective to where we're meant to be. And we got off track a long time ago. This reading's longer than any of my others yet. And I still have more to say, but I'm going to stop there because I think that's a lot to chew on. And I'll come back to this energy, I'm sure I will. But just know that you were born right. As you were meant to be, as you should be. And it was because of your purpose. You are the very unique tool that is going to do the one thing it needs to do. And it never fit anywhere else, because nothing else you've done in your life was designed for what you're designed for. You were never the tool that was needed until now. And now everything's going to start working because you are the right tool for this time now. And I'm going to stop there. And I will see you next time.